Here are the top 5 mistakes I used to make as a beginner videographer and photographer selling my services. The first big mistake I used to make was posting my clients' work before they got to post it themselves. Like if I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on content, I want to be able to have the clout from that content. But that's how you lose a client. Most of the time they won't say anything, they'll just stop working with you. The second big mistake I used to make as a beginner photographer and videographer is holding my content on my SD cards for way too long. SD cards are not meant to be hard drives. Hard drives can hold on to content for years to come, no problem. SD cards are meant to hold on to your content, maybe till you upload it on your computer later or until you get access to a hard drive. That actually ruins the SD card itself. I've even had situations where I got halfway through a shoot, and because I was holding too much content on it for too long, it fried halfway through the shoot, so I lost all my money for that day. The client was pissed, and it was just a whole mess. So the third big mistake I used to make as a beginner photographer and videographer is not preparing the night before. If you have a really big shoot, or even if you have a small shoot, always prepare the night before. That means scouting at your location, knowing what you're going to shoot and who you're shooting it for. Almost every single time I don't have a game plan, the shoot always takes way longer than it needs to. I end up leaving with nothing of value. The clients are pissed off. Every time I have a shoot, whether big or small, always prepare the night before. That means having all your gear ready, knowing where you're going to shoot, what you're shooting, and who you're shooting it for. It really doesn't take that much time. The fourth big mistake I used to make as a beginner photographer and videographer is the turnaround time was horrible. And honestly, most of it was because I couldn't envision the end product. It's a lot harder to get started on a project when you know a lot is on the line. Ideally, if you can get it done same day or the next day, people always love that. But sometimes this is not realistic. And finally, the fifth big mistake I used to make as a beginner photographer and videographer was not checking my settings in between each shot. You'd be surprised how many times I've accidentally clicked a button where it changed the shutter speed or it changed the aperture, and it just it messed up all the clips moving forward. So after every single shot, make sure you're checking your settings. That means your shutter speed, your ISO, and your aperture. Those are the most important ones that you need to check after every single shot. Or another tip that I actually learned when I used to work with Yuri Photography, they're like a sports content creation agency that works with a lot of high schools in the SoCal area. What they would have us do was put a piece of tape over your shutter speed adjustment or your aperture adjustment, so that way you're a little less likely to accidentally move it when you're with your finger when you're taking a shot. And those are the top 5 mistakes I used to make as a beginner photographer and videographer. Let me know in the comments what your biggest mistake was as a beginner photographer or videographer. I'm definitely curious to know, and I will be replying to all my comments. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. This helps me keep going and creating this valuable content for you guys, and I'm grateful for every subscriber I get.